Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Well, now, the Labour leadership race has taken a new twist following claims from one of the party's MPs that aides for Jeremy Corbyn and the Shadow Chancellor John McDonnell illegally entered her Westminster office. Seema Malhotra, who resigned from Mr Corbyn's shadow cabinet a month ago, has now made a formal complaint. Well, Rebecca Long Baily replaced Ms Malhotra as Labour's Shadow Chief Secretary to the Treasury, and she joins me now from Salford. And a very good morning to you. Well, what do you make of this? Illegally entering an MP's office is totally unacceptable, isn't it?
I'm very upset by what's happened. I think there's been a clear misunderstanding, and we've got a very good relationship with Seema. I certainly have, and I've got the utmost respect for her and her staff, and I understand that the lady that works for our office that has access to all of the Treasury team's offices had thought that she'd moved out and went in to check. And I think therein lay the misunderstanding, and unfortunately it's not been resolved amicably, which I think it should have done, really.
Oh, so you've chatted about it. You think it's an honest misunderstanding, and it's, I suppose, administration, is it then just moving some of her stuff from one office to another?
That's right. That's right. I think on resignation of Seema's post, the office specifically is on the corridor of the Shadow Leader's office. It's next to all the Treasury team offices. So we were waiting to move Seema out into a new office and me into that office so I could be closer to the Treasury team. And as far as the administrative staff were concerned, they thought that had happened, and they went to check the office, because as I said, this lady had access to all the offices because she was the office manager, and there were still boxes in there, and unfortunately she walked straight back out of the office again and left. And unfortunately, I think there's been a bit of miscommunication and misunderstanding on both kind of parts, really. And I hope that it can be resolved as soon as possible, because at the end of the day we're a team, and we all get on with each other generally very well.
OK, I mean, that's very interesting, but just to finally on this specific incident, just to be crystal clear then, only parliamentary staff were involved in moving Ms Malhotra's stuff around them, where there were no people from the Labour Party involved in this?
No, not as far as I'm aware. I understand that Seema's office were moving Seema's stuff, and then my, staff were boxing up my stuff and waiting to move the boxes in.
But on the broader point of the tone of the campaign, we've still got this letter, haven't we, from 44 female MPs, your colleagues, saying that it really is getting too much, and in particular that female MPs and non-white members are being singled out for abuse.
I think abuse of any kind is abhorrent, and I understand that MPs, whatever party they're in or whatever side of the fence they sit on in the leadership, are experiencing terrible abuse, and I don't think that's acceptable, and anybody that's found guilty of carrying out acts like that is a member of the Labour Party should be dealt with quite severely.
But it is this issue of, we hear it all the time, of being dealt with quite severely. We heard it again today from John McDonnell. But where are the expulsions? Where are the suspensions?
Well, they're being dealt with by the National Executive Committee. I think once an issue is flagged up and a member is guilty or alleged to be found guilty of an offence that causes upset or distress to another member of the Labour Party, it goes before a panel of the National Executive Committee who go through, examine the details, question the relevant people and decide what action to take. And obviously I can't comment on air about specific cases, but I do know that there are a number of cases that are dealt with periodically by the National Executive Committee, and where the situation is very serious, they are expelled from the party.
Can I just ask you lastly and rather briefly, Rebecca Long Baily, what do you make of this extraordinary claim from Len McCluskey, or maybe you don't think it's extraordinary, that MI5 might be trying to destabilise Jeremy Corbyn?
Well, Well, I mean, I can't comment on that myself. I haven't had any briefings on that in politics at the moment, and given the last few months, nothing would surprise me.
OK, well, great to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed. Rebecca Long Baily there in Salford, and you're watching Murnaghan on Sky News.